Fist up all around the room. 3, 2, 1.
Yasmin?
Sometimes I let my mind wander, and it takes me back to that boiling summer afternoon, to the hot and humid misery of that old tin shack, to the stopover for victims of stray bullets and heart attacks, relatives stop over, the empty vessels of one-way travelers who won't look back. And that was the first time I heard them call his name like that. We gotta wash the body, clean the body, move the body, remove the body. You see, at birth, the first thing given to us is a name, an identity, a way to etch our eternal imprints into the parchments of history. And if we bleed, a way to show them how and why we bled. And if the wings of the blessed angel of death is what we see, then the last thing taken from us before we're dead, a name. And in that moment, he had no name. So naturally, I searched for answers, someone to blame, and at first I blamed the system, called them the perpetrators. Like how they're gonna push my people, then prosecute my people for peddling poisons in the form of powders and pills for petty profits of pennies on the dollar, when they're pursuing the procurement of those very same plants. Peacekeeping, little more than the plundering and pillaging of faraway lands, and at home, painting picturesque portraits of propaganda on news programs to conceal their plans, please. And I blamed him, called him selfish and greedy. How every time he'd see me, I'd be like, why you only act deaf when you're here? He knew that his death was my fear, but my advice fell on deaf ears. He turned a deaf ear to the fear that brought death near. And I know that I'm right here, cause now I'm right here, but I ain't right here, cause he ain't right here. And I blame myself, sending my mind into episodes of psychological self-persecution I suffered, and rightly so, being unable to act as a buffer between him and what would inevitably be his fate. His mother pulls me close when she sees me, embraces me with a dry tear and a hug, so much love in her heart, but no one to love, and no matter how long I embrace, whenever I pull away, I still feel that slight tug, like not yet. I know that this is the closest she'll ever get to feeling his touch, so I hold her. Told her that from a young man she taught him to see that if, like a man, he chose to stand tall on his feet, never letting the hard concrete meet the skin of his knees, then the world would surely find a way into the palms of his hands. And if that world proved dark and bleak, and it was paradise he chose to seek, then eternal bliss for men who know no sleep can surely be found beneath the heels of their mother's feet, and he loved you. Still I wonder, let my mind wander, and it drags me back to that boiling summer afternoon, to the first time I heard them call his name like that, the body.